Chances are, if you clicked on this video, you love mountain biking, just like I do. But have you ever stopped to think, what is it about mountain biking that you love so much? What makes this sport so special and makes it so much different from any other hobby you've had? Well, the other day on the way home from work, I had a thought pop up into my head. And I think it has a lot to do with the progression in mountain biking. Now, that's not to say that you can't get better in any other hobby you have, but I think mountain biking is solely based around progression. I think if you asked a certain amount of people, a lot of people would say, oh, I like it because of the adrenaline rush. I like it because I'm out in nature. I like it because of the fitness. Yeah, I think that's fair. I do. And I think those things all play into it. However, I do view that as a bit of an oversimplification. As awesome as it is to be out in nature and how awesome it is to have the social aspects of mountain biking and to have good cardio and, great exercise, I think that there's something more at play. And for that, I have to be a bit boring. And this sort of popped into my head as I was driving home the other day, that I think we can learn something from a French philosopher from the early 1900s. And I know that sounds crazy, but I want you to hear me out on this. I think the best part of mountain biking is by far the progression. Whether it comes from you, whether it comes from goals that other people have set, whether it comes from you trying to race and be better, the goal is to obtain something. And even when you obtain that, it still feels like there's more to be had. And I think this might sum it up perfectly. So if you're still with me and you haven't completely gagged at the thought of learning something from a French psychoanalyst and his philosophy, I'd like to introduce you to the concept of Objet Petit. This is a concept brought to us by this man right here, Jacques Lacan, who was an early 20th century French psychoanalyst, some would say philosopher. It can be defined as the object that can never be obtained. And desire, as Lacan says, comes from lack. And I find this to be interesting when it comes to mountain biking, because I think what motivates us is to achieve a goal. However, when we obtain that goal, whether it be hitting a jump or getting a KOM or getting a PR, it then continues to move towards another goal. And the goalposts figuratively keep getting pushed. Let's use an example. Let's say you're a local shredlord like this man pictured right here. You're riding your local jump trail and there's a feature that you're trying to progress on. You're hitting it well, but your desire is to hit it a little bit better and to ride the trail a little smoother. Let's say the first video here is how you are currently riding the trail. And let's say that this second video is how you desire to ride the trail in the future. Do you see how this pertains to mountain biking progression? I think I do. Lacan says that desire comes from the lack. And even let's say you get to the point where you are riding and you've progressed to the point where you're riding like this person in the second video. However, the desire still comes from the lack. And I think this pertains to mountain biking because even if you've progressed to that point where you want it to be and you inevitably wish that you would be, you still think you can do better. Similar to a PR, it's, yes, I beat my recent PR, but can I now beat that PR? It's similar to collecting something. The desire to have it is better than actually having it. And I think that pertains to mountain biking because it's the constant push to do better, that you're never satisfied with how well you're riding and there could always be better. And maybe not to overcomplicate this, but I think that this is an interesting way to look at why mountain biking is so good. I think this is all something we all subconsciously do when we're mountain biking, whether we realize it or not. I think whether you're actively pushing for a PR or you're just trying to ride that trail a little bit better than you did the day before, I think that you're using one of Lacan's philosophy here of Objet Petit. And I think it's interesting to look at it, and I think it's pretty cool to put a name behind it because, hey, maybe you weren't aware of it, and this is a connection that I made, and maybe I'm right, maybe I'm wrong. But Listen, I'm not a philosophy professor. I'm not a psychology professor. I just thought this was a really cool way to put a name to a phenomenon in mountain biking because, yes, it's awesome to be in nature. Yes, it's awesome to be, healthy and in shape. But I think that this really describes the phenomenon as to why mountain biking is so good, so addicting, and anybody who tries it gets so addicted and keeps coming back. I hope you enjoyed this. I had a real good time making it, and if you'd like to see more stuff like this in the future, just let me know.